Good morning, children. I hope you people are doing fine in the lockdown. One word which we come across in this lockdown frequently by the media, that is the government. The government orders, the government objectives, the government sanctions, its policies. So our chapter is also concerned with government. As you all know that we have three organs of the government, and they are the union legislature, the union executive and judiciary. So in this video, the first chapter, which is the union legislature, in which you have, this is the unit in which you have one chapter, and that is the union parliament. We'll be taking up union parliament. Yes, children. So we will see the syllabus which we have here in front of you. You can see this, the union legislature. You should know the meaning of federal setup. The meaning of federal setup in India. Then we have the Lok Sabha. Okay, both the houses Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and powers and functions of the Union Parliament. So here you see in the Lok Sabha, we are supposed to do the term of the Lok Sabha, composition of the Lok Sabha, qualifications for the membership, parliamentary procedures, a brief idea of sessions, quorum, question hour, adjournment motion, and no confidence motion. So in this video, I'll try to cover these topics. That is, I'll give you a brief understanding of the federal setup which we have in India and the Lok Sabha. Yes, children. So we will start with our chapter, that is Union Parliament. But before starting this chapter, we should know the meaning of federal setup. As it is given in your syllabus, you should know the meaning of federal setup in India. So what is federal? What is federal setup? Now you see here, in a federal system of government, all the administrative powers are divided between center and the state government, and both are supreme within their respective spheres according to the constitution. What does this mean? This means that a country which has more than two or more than two set of government in the country, that country is called a federal. So according to that, in India we have federal system. Why? Because we have central government and we have state governments. Okay, so now we will take up what is union parliament. Okay, now what is union parliament? Okay, the name of your chapter is union parliament. So union legislature comprises of, union parliament means legislature. Legislature is the law making body. Okay, so the union legislature comprises the president and the two houses of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The house of people, Lok Sabha is called the house of the people and Rajya Sabha is called council of state. So union parliament means it should have president and both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay. Now we come to what is Lok Sabha. Now Lok Sabha is the house of people, as you have seen earlier also in the previous slide. I told that Lok Sabha is called the house of the people. And the member, why it is called house of the people? As the members of the parliament, means those people who are member of Lok Sabha are called member of parliament. So these members of parliament or the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people of India. Directly elected by the people of India means after every 5 years there is general election for election of the new government. So the member of the Lok Sabha, they are directly elected by the people of India. And how are they elected? The whole country is divided into constituencies, and the various political parties, they give ticket to their candidates, and from each constituency one member is elected for Lok Sabha. So the member of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. So they are called as the people's representative. Okay. Now we come to, now these people are, as I told you, after general election they are elected as the member of Lok Sabha. Now what is the term of the member of Lok Sabha? That means how long, what is the duration of their being the member of Lok Sabha. So the term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Apart from this, the Lok Sabha, it can be dissolved before the completion of 5 years also. It can be extended by a year. That is, during emergency, the tenure of the member of Lok Sabha can increase, and when the Lok Sabha dissolves or the government falls, it can also be the membership of these member of Lok Sabha, that can also get reduced. Okay. Now we come to the next point. Yes, so now we come to the composition. What do you mean by composition? Composition means how many members are there. Total, how many members do we have in the Lok Sabha? So we have here, we have 552, not more than 552 members in the Lok Sabha. And how is it done? See, it's given here 530 plus 20 plus 20, that constitute to 552. That is not more than 530 members from the states. As I told you, whole country, okay, is divided into constituencies comprising the state as well as the union territories. So 530 members, not more than 530 members from the state are elected, and not more than 20 members from the union territories. Okay, and 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community, they are nominated by the president if they are not adequately presented. That means what? That means these people, that 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community, they are nominated. They do not go, there is no election for them. So the composition of Lok Sabha is 552, not more than 552 members. Okay, these 552 members are called as the member of Lok Sabha or MLA. From which house? From Lok Sabha. Now we will see the next one. What are the qualifications required? Okay, so qualifications required for a member, for a person to be member of the Lok Sabha. So now, so one thing you should keep in mind here is, whenever qualifications are asked in the exam, if they are about the member of Lok Sabha, member of Rajya Sabha, or any other like speaker or the Supreme Court judge, the first qualification should be that he should be an Indian citizen. Okay, that is the first qualification. Now, so let us come to the qualification of member of Lok Sabha. The first thing is, he should be an Indian citizen. Second qualification, he should be at least 25 years of age. Okay, his age should be 25 and more. Third one, he should have his name in electoral roll in some part of the country. His name should be there in the electoral roll. And the next is, he should not be an insolvent. What does that mean? He should not be an insolvent means he should not be in debt and should have the ability to meet his financial commitments. Okay, that is the meaning of insolvent. Now we come to the Fifth qualification, he should not hold any office of profit under the government. What does that mean? That means that he should not be a government employee. And the sixth qualification is he should not be a proclaimed criminal. That means any court in the country should not have punished him for any crime. Proclaimed means he should not be punished by the court. And the last one is he should not be of unsound mind. That means he should be a person with healthy mind. So these are a healthy mind. So these are the 7 qualifications which should be in a person who can stand in the election as a member of parliament from Lok Sabha. Now we come to the next point. Okay. Now you see here, there you can see here, I've just, you can see in the picture, children. So with the help of the picture, you just see it's given here, the government of union. So we have at the top, we have the president, and then we have here, that is the member of Rajya Sabha, and then we have the member of Lok Sabha, and here member of Rajya Sabha. Okay, Rajya Sabha, they are also called Council of States. Okay, so not more than 250 members. Okay, here in Rajya Sabha there should be not more than 250 members, and in the Lok Sabha, as you have already seen, not more than 552 members. Okay, that is there. And here again we will only see of the Lok Sabha, not more than 530 representatives of the state, okay, and not more than 20 representatives of the union territory, and plus 2 nominated Anglo-Indian community by the president. Okay, so this is all these people, 250 members here and 552 members here. They are all the members of the parliament. Okay, now I think you have understood. And the member of Rajya Sabha, they are 250, that is half of the member of the Lok Sabha. Okay, and this we are going to see in the next session when we'll be taking in the next session about the Rajya Sabha. Now we come to the, yes children, now we are just coming to the, so now these members are elected, and what is the work of these members? They are the members of legislative. Okay, that means what is their main aim, what is their main function, what are their powers? Okay, that is to form the laws. Okay, and now we will start with parliamentary procedures. Now what are these parliamentary procedures? Now you have seen that these members, they got elected from the country and they are in the parliament. Now what is their function? Their function is to make laws for the country. Okay, so some formalities which the legislators have to observe in the parliament as well as in the state legislatives are called as parliamentary procedures. So in your syllabus we have certain parliamentary procedures, like let me just tell you once more. In your syllabus you should know, you should have a brief idea of sessions, quorum, question hour, adjournment, and no confidence motion. So these are the parliamentary procedures. Okay, you should have an idea about. Questions are asked from these topics. So one by one we will take up these parliamentary procedures. Okay, the first one is session. Now what is a session? A parliamentary session is defined as the period over which parliament meets to debate. Okay, the member of parliament, they attend the meeting and they debate, they do the discussion. So a parliamentary session is defined as the period over which parliament meets to debate. The National Council and Council of States meet regularly for ordinary sessions, and 4 ordinary sessions, there are 4 in number, each lasting 3 weeks, takes place every year. So, and different names are given for the sessions, children. Okay, in your book it is mentioned sessions. We have the budget session, okay, that is in the month of Feb and May. The monsoon session, that is in the month of July and August, and the winter session, and that is in the month of November and December. Okay, so and one more point is here, that that interval between the 2 consecutive sessions shall be less than 6 months. Okay, so there should not be a gap of more than 6 months. Okay, so here in your book it is given that there are 3 sessions. Okay, the first one being, again I am telling, the budget session, the monsoon session, and the winter session. Now we come to the another parliamentary procedure, and that is quorum. So now you have a session, all are sitting in the session, they are doing discussion over a bill, and this bill after discussion, after passing from one house to the next house, and gets the sign of the president, and it becomes an act. Okay, for this you need quorum. So you have to understand what is quorum. Quorum is the minimum number of the members of a deliberative body. What do you mean by deliberative body? Both the houses of the parliament or the state legislative body of state. So quorum is the minimum number of a deliberative body, okay, necessary to conduct the business of that group. Okay, that means what, beta? So after understanding the meaning of the quorum, let us see. So what should be the quorum? The quorum of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is 1/10 of the total membership of each house. That means what? This means that the house cannot conduct its proceedings and pass bill and resolutions without the presence of at least 1/10 of the total membership. Like for example, in the Lok Sabha we have not more than 552 members. So 1/10 of 552 members should be present for the proceedings or the business of the house to transact. So that is quorum. So what is the quorum of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? 1/10 of the total membership of each house. Now we move to the next parliamentary procedure, and that is the next one we have here is question hour. Okay, so what is question hour? So question hour is, now you have here in the house we have discussions, debates. Okay, so for that you need question. The member of the house, they ask question to the government. So here let us see here the definition of the question hour is, children, the first hour on every working day of the Lok Sabha is reserved for the questions unless otherwise decided by the speaker. Okay, this hour, which usually starts at 11, is also known as question hour. Okay, so in the question hour it is reserved for the questions, okay, unless otherwise decided by the speaker. You can ask questions, and this hour starts at 11 a.m. Okay, yeah, ask questions. Various type of member of the parliament in this hour can ask various questions from the government. Okay, then the next one is yes, 0 hour. Okay, now what is 0 hour? 0 hour in the Indian Parliament represent free hour during which the members can ask any question of national importance without any prior notice. So what will be the difference between question hour and 0 hour? So in question hour you have to give prior notice, and here you can ask any question. Who can ask? The member of the parliament. They can ask any question of national importance without any prior notice to the government. Generally, for asking any question in Indian Parliament, it has to be pre-informed and tabled. But at 0 hour, you, that is the member of the Parliament, is free to ask any question from any section of the public interest without any prior notice, and this begins at 12, soon after the question hour. Okay, from 12 o'clock to 1. Now we come to the next here is the next parliamentary procedure is the motions. Okay, now you should have what are motions, you should know here. So in parliamentary procedure, a motion is a formal proposal by a member of a deliberative assembly that the assembly takes certain action. So motions are proposals. Okay, what are motions? Motions are proposals, or you can again in the other language, other definition here is a motion is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the house should take up some particular matter which is of public importance. Okay, with the help of the motion, the member draws attention of the government to take suitable action on a particular matter. So there are many types of motions. Okay, for the motions, we have two motions in your syllabus, and that is adjournment motion and no confidence motion. Now, what is adjournment motion? An adjournment motion means a proposal to lay aside all other business and take up a definite matter of urgent importance. Such a motion leads to the interruption of the normal business of the house. Adjournment motion examples are railway accident or any other natural calamity or communal rights. When these things takes place, so the business of the house is interrupted. Okay, so this is adjournment of the house. Now we will just see one more thing, and we'll just see what is the meaning of prorogation of the house. Okay, now for the prorogation of the house, yes, what is the meaning of prorogation of the house? Prorogation means termination of the session of the parliament. A speaker can adjourn a house, however, only the president has the power to prorogate the session of the parliament. Okay, so I think you understood prorogation means suspension. Okay, prorogation means termination of the session of the parliament, which can be done only by the president. Now let us see in which cases the house can be adjourned by the speaker. Speaker can adjourn the house. So what are the cases? The first one, that is also important, when the speaker can adjourn the house. Now the first one is after the business of the day is over. Second is when the death of a sitting or ex-member of the house occurs. Third is when there is so much disorder in the house that it is difficult to conduct the business. Okay, that is discipline issue. And the fourth one is for want of quorum. What is the meaning of want of quorum? That means the quorum, 1/10 of the member of the total membership should be present, so it is less than that, so want of quorum. For that also the speaker can adjourn the house. And the last one is as and when the speaker find it necessary, he can adjourn the house. Yes children, so we will take up another motion, and that is no confidence motion. A no confidence motion is a proposal expressing lack of confidence in the ministry. In India, a motion of no confidence can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha, that is the lower house of the parliament. The motion is admitted for discussion when a minimum of 50 members of the house support the motion. And if the motion carries, the house debates and vote on the motion. And if it gets passed, the government has to resign. And one more important thing, the no confidence motion is always brought in by the opposition party. Okay children, so after watching this video, I hope that you have understood the topic well, and the topic which were taken in the video, they were the federal setup and the Lok Sabha. I think you have understood this topic well, and one advice to you is that please, whenever you see this, whenever you watch this video, you are going to take your textbook along with it, so that you can better understand what's given in the textbook. You can compare it, okay, and it will be a kind of revision for you. So the next portion, that is the Rajya Sabha and the speaker, we are going to take in the next video. So thank you so much for watching my video.